guys, and welcome back to the channel. So I'm going to be showing you guys something extra special, brand spanking new. I'm going to show you guys how to do an afro. Yes, it's going to be beautiful. It's going to be a few easy steps. Here is my colors. I have a little bit of Mars Black, Ultramarine Blue, Burnt Sienna. I have some what is it, yellow ochre, titanium white. I don't even know what I got on the palette. Titanium white. And these are pretty much all the colors you're gonna need. 5 easy colors, because we're doing pretty much a dark brownish blackish type of an afro. So let's get started, you guys. Okay guys, so I'm working in acrylics today, and of course I'm outside. The wind is blowing. It's a beautiful day. I'm gonna wet my brush. Right now, I would suggest that you guys use something like a hard bristle brush when you're dealing with African American hair. You want to think of it sort of like a bush or a tree. It has lots of texture, lots of beauty. You want to tap, tap, tap. This is the motion that I'm going to be using throughout most of the afro whatever, right? So you definitely, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start, you can start anywhere really. So I'm gonna get a little bit of my ultramarine, kind of zoom into these colors. Ultramarine, a little bit of burnt sienna, which ultimately is gonna turn it a monochromatic black, right? And this is gonna be our darkest color, you guys. You see how it gets that dark color? And then I'm gonna just start. Now I'm tapping motion, because you want to create that texture, you guys. So I'm tapping like she's a tree, and we're off. Now she has actually some braids that I was looking at in the reference photo, but I'm gonna actually apply those. I'm gonna put those in after the fact. You want to have the base of your afro have a darker tone. And you can actually even use black if you wanted to. I'm going to dip into a little bit of my Mars Black for this particular one. And you see how you get those darker right here by the ear. This is going to be really dark down here. Right by the face, that is going to be really dark. You could even put a little bit of, she has a braid that goes across her face. I'm going to do a sweeping motion. I'm actually using a filbert brush, which is absolutely wonderful when it comes to doing texture, trees, and stuff like that. If you feel like your brush is starting to drag, you want to go ahead and wet it a little bit. Get a little more of the blue on there. Burnt sienna. You want to have these different tones, but you want this to definitely be like a darker color, you guys. You can see I'm kind of wiggling and moving, tapping and moving. You want that texture in there. Wiggling and moving. Be careful as you go around the face. You can kind of slow down, smooth things out as you do that. And I'm just going to brush this over this braid, but I know this is going to be a braid. But remember, you're going to have to add and just get it in there. It's okay if you have all of that texture, because in African American hair we have lots of texture, you guys. I'm still in my monochromatic black, because in the reference photo in here, as you go towards the face, that's going to be really dark. I may even go into my black and get an even darker tone. You want to have all these variations of different tones, you guys. Tap, tap, tap. Get it in there, get it in there. Okay, now we're going to wash out our brush. Okay. So we can have clean, clear, concise colors. And hold on. Your gal is tearing up out here. Okay, now we're going to go to a different color. We're still going to go into our burnt sienna, right? But this time we're going to do a little bit of the dark monochromatic black, right? But it's going to be mostly like a dark brown, if you can see that. You see the difference? This is a dark brown. This is going to be your next color up. See how that's different? And go, go, go. You want to move quickly, you guys, because this is acrylic. And you don't want it to dry on you. Again, this is our first layer. We're blocking things in. And we're getting our life together. Block it in, block it in. Once you learn this technique, you could actually use the same technique but for different colors. But your base should always be dark. Okay, you guys? You could even blend some of this into the dark. You see how I blended kind of like some of that into the dark? Into the darkness. Okay? But I'm still having some dark in there. I'm still mixing that dark in there with it. Now, we're getting towards the ends here. So this is when we're going to add yellow ochre. I'm not even cleaning off my brush. This is strictly yellow ochre. Still getting into this dark, because you want to add some different colors in there. So burnt sienna, yellow ochre, right? And that's what you're going to add here. You see how that's a different color right there? Because now here you want to go in a sweeping motion. Swirl it, whip it, right? Because in an afro you have all of these little wispies right there. You see that? Wisp it. All these little wispies at the ends, right? And you can blend it into your next color. See how we got that blend going. At the end of her hair, she had a very light halo. I'm getting into my water because it's getting draggy. Or you can use a can you see this? Or you can use and I'm gonna take that right in here. You see I'm wisping. You want to create those little wispies because you're gonna have those little flyaways when you're dealing with a afro or any type of hair. You're gonna have those little flyaways, you guys. Little flyaways. I'm wisping, whirling. Blend it into your darker color. You see I'm moving quickly, you guys. Moving quickly. Now you see how I created that halo? Like, ow, she's gonna be hot. Again, this is your first layer, so you don't have to worry about, and it looks very nice in that yellowish background. Now over there kind of feels like it's too much light, so I'm gonna go back into my dark color. The good thing with acrylics is you can always go back into your dark colors. See? And I just added the dark. And you want to add texture. Tap, tap, tap. Swirl, swirl, swirl. Get your life. Okay, guys? Same thing over here. Tap, 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 swirl, swirl, swirl. Okay. And at the top, it's going to be yellow ochre, and I'm going to add a little bit of white, right? That little bit of white is going to give you your lightest thing going here. A little bit of white, yellow ochre, and burnt sienna. And you go swirl, swirl, swirl at the top. That's giving you your whirl, right? Now, I didn't clean off my brush. I'm going back into the burnt sienna, a little bit of black, or you can add blue. And then you can go back in, fill in those spots, those dark areas, tap, 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 that you didn't get before. Fill it in. Fill it in. Yeah? Then follow the same order of operations, you guys, right? Then we're going to go back into, the lighter you go, the more burnt sienna and yellow ochre you're going to add. A little bit of yellow ochre. That's going to give me my lighter version. And boom, this should be dry at this point. Now remember, with acrylics, you have to add lots of layers. That's how you get things to look realistic and right, is by adding the layers. Swirling, swirling, swirling. Now, in ideal conditions, you would stand further back from this. Okay, now I'm going to speed you up and we're going to do pretty much the same order of operations. Okay, you guys, and that's the end of our video. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. I love you guys so much, and I'll catch you on the next one. Bye.